Now, a cancer charity is demanding that Britain follows Australia's lead by introducing plain cigarette packs. Australia is the first country in the world to introduce a ban on branded packs. It all kicked off today, so now they just feature pictures of the damage that smoking can cause. So, should we follow Australia's lead? Well, the director of anti-smoking group Action on Smoking and Health, Deborah Arnott, joins us from central London. Morning. And here with me in the studio is Mark Littlewood from Hands Off Our Packs, a campaign group opposed to plain packaging being introduced here in the UK. Deborah, to you first of all, why are you so keen for us to do what the Aussies are doing?
Well, what I point out is it's not just a cancer charity, Cancer Research UK. The Smoke Free Action Coalition, which is 190 health organisations, including all the Royal Medical Colleges, the BMA, British Heart Foundation, as well as Cancer Research UK, we all support this, because why should the tobacco industry, an industry which produces a product, the only legal product which kills when used as intended, be able to use the pack to promote smoking, particularly to young people, for whom branding is terribly important. I mean, my children, for example, would only ever wear Nike trainers.
Well, it's a fair point, Mark, isn't it, in all of this? I mean, you're a smoker. You want to smoke. You've got a right to smoke. Why does it matter what the pack looks like?
Well, I don't want us to move into a world in which the state regulates what colours we're allowed to look at. Deborah raises a fair point about youngsters. We're already taking in this country, and could take more measures to make sure that cigarettes don't get into the hands of young people. I don't think adults should be able to procure cigarettes for young people, for example. We've already recently brought in a display ban in the United Kingdom. And my concern here is I think this is using a sledgehammer to fail to crack a nut. I believe that adults should be allowed to use branded products, even though Deborah is right, smoking is a dangerous product, but it's an adult choice to smoke. And my worry here is that this is going to be terrific news for counterfeiters. We already have probably about 20% of the tobacco market in the UK is illicit or illegal or smuggled. And this is going to make things an awful lot easier if you only have to produce basically one standardised pack rather than 260 different brands. If you're in the counterfeit tobacco business, you'd be punching the air at this coming in as public policy in the UK.
That has to cause some concern, Deborah, in that not only do you want to stop people smoking, I mean, part of the issue built in with that is the price of cigarettes, as we know. If this actually opens the door to counterfeiters and makes cigarettes cheaper for people to buy, it's not going to stop people from smoking or even starting at a younger age.
Well, there's no evidence of that, and I'll go on to that. But first of all, this is not a nut. 100,000 people die from smoking every year in the UK. It kills more people than all the other avoidable premature causes of death put together, and hundreds of thousands of children take up smoking every year. The pack is a major form of promotion, and it's not going to be any easier to counterfeit. In 2008, the tobacco companies came into an agreement with the government that all packs would have covert marking on them, because already they were so easy to counterfeit. Cardboard boxes with colours on are extremely easy to counterfeit. They won't be any easier. I mean, if you look at the packs they've got in Australia, they've got graphic warnings in multicolours. They've got all sorts of elements on them that put the warnings there. They're no easier to counterfeit, and there's no evidence it will increase the illicit. The tobacco industry said this about the display ban. That's not been the case. They said it about all sorts of other measures. They say it about tax. And when Mark talks about the level of smuggling, actually the level of smuggling has reduced by over a half over the last decade. It's not 20%, it's much lower than that. And the tobacco industry constantly misrepresents the figures.
I mean, the bottom line with this, Mark, is whether you agree they're going to be easier to counterfeit or not, and the impact that will have, is that it's about stopping youngsters. We know that if people get to 26 and they haven't smoked, they're not likely to start. So shouldn't everyone be pushing towards that sort of goal?
Well, hang on. I don't think we can have a situation in which we regulate every single product in this country that might be damaging to children and thereby sort of stop adults, as I say, looking at a particular colour scheme.
Well, perhaps we've
already brought in a display ban. Already in Australia, that's to mean they'll be behind shutters in a shop. Already in Australia, there are companies making so-called skins. These will be colourful things that you wrap around this cigarette packet, perhaps to match your outfit, or perhaps with the logo of your favourite football team or something on it. So I think unless you're actually willing to start banning cardboard boxes or wrappings of a particular shape, people are going to choose to carry, adults are going to choose to carry their cigarettes in more elaborate packaging.
Well, it's an interesting debate. We'll have to wait and see what happens here in the UK, but we'll watch Australia with interest. Thank you both very much indeed. Good to talk to you. Quick check on the weather for you this morning. How are we looking, Joe?
Pretty cold, to be honest, but hopefully things should start to improve a little bit. We're looking at milder conditions by the time we get to Monday.